Alright, let's talk about how do you target the right people on YouTube and how do you decide who to target and who's the best ones to put your ads in front of for YouTube if you're in real estate or if you want to do any lead generation or brand awareness, you want to grow your YouTube channel. So I'm going to go over all of the targeting and everything that you need to know in this video. Stay tuned. My name's Andrew, and I run a digital marketing agency that helps busy team leaders, top producers, and selling brokers focus more on their clients and getting more clients and their building and scaling their team by handling their marketing for them so they can spend more time doing what they love, which is working with clients. So when it comes to setting up an ad, so obviously you're gonna have your screen, you're gonna start, create a campaign, new campaign. So obviously I'll go into this into a later video, but it really depends what you're looking to do. If you're looking for leads, if you're looking for web traffic, if you're just looking for brand awareness, reach, or sometimes if you're doing discovery, then you have to do a custom in the video. So we're just gonna kind of go there, even though a lot of times people are gonna do leads, website, or custom. So, and as you see, there's many different options. So you can have a custom video campaign, non-skippable, outstream, drive conversions, ad sequence, and shopping. So we're gonna do drive conversions because most people are gonna end up wanting to do buyer leads or seller leads or whatever. So again, not going to spend a whole lot of time in this, going this into a different video, but there's a reason of when to use one, when to use the other. Target CPA is good, but we're just going to go into targeting. How do you target the right people with your YouTube ads? So obviously you can enter in a city, like let's say Tampa. But what you can also do is you see that's really big. So you can go lower, Tampa, Florida. What if you don't want all of this? What if you want, let's see if it comes up. Tampa's a little different, so let's say, let's go up and let's do Lutz. Let's remove Tampa. That's one. If you really want to add another, you can. And as you see, you're only targeting the locations that you want to target. Or let's go all the way to San Diego. And we're not going to spend a lot of time in this, but and then of course you could do like radius as well. So if you only want to target 2 miles around it, so that's just so you can kind of see that. Now when it comes to targeting, these are important. You can leave it at standard. Now if you really want, if you want the ads to show up in front of everyone, you can go expanded. Usually go standard. Click these because if someone's watching a YouTube video or a live streaming video, then they're not going to click an ad. And then you can actually do this. And the reason behind this is because not everything gets labeled. If you're super worried about like your brand or something, even though you shouldn't, you can leave it, but not every content is labeled. So you need to know who you're targeting, not just at a age demographic level. You need to understand who they are as a person. What do they like? What do they dislike? Where are they moving from? Where are they moving to? Why are they moving from where they're moving? And why are they moving to where they're moving? See, that's more psychographic. And when you understand that, then it makes targeting a lot easier. It makes creating the video a lot easier because you know exactly how to speak to them. You don't speak to a first-time home buyer the same way you speak to someone who's buying a luxury home, or the same way someone's moving up into a new home, into a bigger home in a better neighborhood in the best school district. Two different people. Someone who's a first-time home buyer needs to be educated about the process. Someone who is moving up, they need less education, maybe some, but different. So that's the idea, is you need to really understand, and you need to go through is who are you trying to target, who is your ideal client, and then you work through that. So that's for another video. So obviously these are going away, so if it's still around while the video is here, if you want to not target them, then sure, you can. But those are gonna be gone. So when it comes to income, so the first thing to realize is Google is accurate, but it's not perfect. So just because Google thinks they're in the top 20% or top in the 40% or top 10%, doesn't mean they still are. People's income changes every single year, every couple of years. So Google can have an idea, but they're not perfect. So it's kind of better to be a little lenient with it. Don't go super narrow on the income, because your targeting below is going to do most of the work for you, and then your video will do most of the work as well. So you don't want to be too strict on this. So let's just say we leave it open, or you take out this and this or whatever. Or if you really want, you can go like that. So the reason you never want to take out unknown is because, again, Google doesn't know if the person's not logged in, if they're on a private browser, if they're on a different device, whatever. So you don't want to just shoot yourself in the foot and just get rid of them because you think it's not the right person. And that's the biggest thing when it comes to advertising. It's not if you think it's the right person, even though you have an idea of who you want to target. You want the video, you want the targeting, all of that to basically target, and you want the platform to figure out who is the right person. Don't make assumptions. So that's the biggest thing. Now, I'm not gonna have all of the audiences because this is a new account. So kind of walking through, obviously, for example, the first level of targeting that is a lot easier to get conversions quickly is keywords. And the thing about keywords is it's understanding where your ads are gonna show. So when you use keywords like homes for sale, these are keywords that are found in the video captions, in the description, in the tags. So you want to understand this may be good on Google, but it may not be good on YouTube because that might not be in the YouTube videos. For example, buy a house is going to be in a lot more videos. So it's going to be way more targeted. So understanding this and understanding that doing things like this, adding the brackets, whatever, but that's not even important. It's understanding that, first of all, when you do keyword targeting and you're testing in one campaign, you only want to have 3. So let's just say, I'm just kind of putting stuff out there. So you're only testing 3 to see. Obviously you wouldn't do this because it's 3, these 2 are for sellers, this one's a buyer. You could if you think you might be able to get a move-up buyer, but you also need to realize, guess what? It's not always buy a house, buy a home. Or people might say buy a home or home buy or whatever. So there's so many different variations of the keywords, and it's important because if you test in the content section over, let's say 3 to 5, your budget is likely not big enough to spend enough to really test. So less is kind of more in each campaign, and I'll go into ad structure in another video. But keywords is one of the best places to start because you can be really targeted on who the ad is actually going to show up in front of. You can really show the ad in front of the right person because you know if they're looking at that, they are in the market. Now, you can add layers to that, like let's say if they're a parent or if they're a homeowner. So let's say if you want to make sure that they're a homeowner, and you can, for example, do that, and you can make sure they're a homeowner, they're seeing these. So that's just an example. And keywords are an amazing place to start because it's way more targeted than doing something up here. So that's why when you're testing a video and seeing if it works, keywords in front of the right people can be the best place where you can start. And then you can use something up here to kind of narrow that down to the exact right person. Now, the other avenues to go are intent. So you're gonna have, these are obviously different, but like you're gonna have keyword intents, which you can create here. So you can see people who have searched certain terms. This is custom intent audience. You can see people who have purchase intent. So, and you can see people who browse different sites. So this is big. For example, let's say Zillow. Oh, my bad. So people who have been on Zillow.com, Realtor.com, Compass.com, all of these big search sites, and that's your target audience. So this is your custom intent audience of people who searched on portal websites. So you can do it like that. You can do it on Google search terms. Now this is where you can use different search terms. So the other search terms below are keywords on YouTube, keywords in the video, keywords in the caption, keywords in the title, keywords in the tags, all of those places where keywords show up. Now, buy a house on Google is way more broad. I wonder if it's going to, or people who, and the thing about making a custom audience is you really want each custom audience to be very specific. So the last one I would have typed in realtor portal sites, and that would have been the audience, just those realtor portal sites. Now this might be home buyer keywords, and I'll type in 20 variations of buying a house, loading slow, buying a home, buy a home. And I might do like homes for sale, you might do Zillow. So I might do like your typical buyer keywords, and I'll add in like 20 of them, and that's a custom intent audience. And you can do that with search terms, you can do it with websites people have been on. I don't do interest and affinities, and you can watch another video why, but it's just not that great in real estate. So that is your custom intent audiences. Now you also have your in-market audiences, which are also really good in real estate because you have people who are moving or relocating. You have people who are in the market to buy a house. You have people who are in the market to buy new homes, pre-owned homes. Then let's just do this to kind of show. I'll go in a second to show examples, but then you can also target people who have recently renovated or renovating a house, people who had a job change, people who just got married, people who had a life event of moving, who just purchased a house or is purchasing soon. people who are going into retirement. So you see, you have way more options that you do not have on Facebook. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. Not all of them are going to show up. So like an example, mortgages. So you have people who refinance home equity loans, home purchase loans. You have retirement planning, life insurance, home renovation, retirement, renovating soon. See, you have all of these options that you don't have on Facebook. And the way to kind of go about it is when you're targeting, this is one of the best places to start. You figure out those keywords that matter on YouTube that are going to be getting your ads in front of the right person. And then you can kind of narrow it down by like homeowners or whatever. And you can do a little bit in the audience section, but let it breathe, let it test, let it really figure out if the creative is good, because that's what you're going to spend most of your time testing, is the creative. You don't want to get too over specific just on the audience targeting. You want to test the creative. So for example, I may do like 3 to 5 keywords and then maybe one audience, not a lot. One audience per campaign, one audience per structure. Obviously it's a lot smaller, so maybe I'll do homeowners, and that's the audience. So it's a lot more narrow, but it's not too narrow. You let it breathe. And if you don't want to do YouTube keywords, then you just click this out. The next level to go into is intent-based audiences, which are, you have the different ways of creating that, which is custom intent based off of Google search terms, or custom intent off of websites like portal sites. And then the next level of testing after that, after your custom intent keywords, your custom intent websites, which are both really good and probably enough to let you breathe for a little while, is your in-market and your life audiences. This is not going to be as intent as your custom intent audiences. And the thing about when you're doing these audiences in the audience section, so this is huge. When it comes to your audiences in the audience section, it's not like Facebook. So let's just say I choose this, and then I go in like here, and I go in like here, and I go down like here and here. Facebook would see this as and. Now, you might think this is and, but when it comes to actually serving the ad and spending the money, the way Google spends the money is or. So all of these are going to get tested as a separate variable. So let's say your budget is only $50 a day. It's only going to spend $5 here, $5 here, $5 here, $5 here, and until it starts to understand who works the best, and then it'll start spending. For example, let's say moving and relocation starts working the best. Then it's going to spend all of that budget on just moving and relocation. And that may not even work. One of these could have worked better, but just because Google saw it starting to work, it's going to start spending in that area. So then you would turn off all of these other areas, and then maybe you would test a different one. So that's the thing about testing and optimizing it. And that's why you don't want to have a ton of audiences in one campaign structure. You want to be targeting one specific person and maybe have variations of the keyword. Or that's why I like starting with keywords and then moving to custom intent and going with custom intent, going from custom intent on websites, going custom intent on the keywords on Google, and then the next level above that in real estate is in-market and life events. But in-market is probably the next level. But you can use detailed demographics like homeowners to create this 3D approach where you're doing homeowner and then keywords, or you're doing your custom intent based targeting, and then you're doing something up here to make it more micro or whatever. So that's just an example of kind of how you go about thinking of who to target, where to target. So when you're going through and you're figuring out, okay, how do I actually target who I want? First, you have to start with who you're targeting, and you have to map that out. And then go in and figure out, okay, what are the keywords? So what are the keywords on YouTube? Then what are the keywords on Google? What websites do they visit, like Zillow, Realtor, whatever? And then you can move up to in-market audiences, like people who are in the market for homes for sale or whatever. But what's cool is you can have this 4D approach where you have the income, you have the location of the person you're targeting, and then you have the targeting here, and you can target people on intent, or you can target on in market. You can have a custom audience, and if you really want to take another level, you can use keywords on Google or YouTube. But the thing about it is you can't get as deep into the demographics as you could in other areas, and affinity audiences are not that great in real estate, but you have many more avenues with income, with location, and then intent and behavior based on in-market life events. You have your custom intent audiences based on keywords on Google, custom intent audience based on your site. Then of course you have your remarketing audiences, and then you have keywords on YouTube. So you have all these targeting options available to you. I don't like topics and placements because they are way too broad, and they are not what we think of, and they don't really work that well. So you could think about doing something like this, and maybe do real estate listings if you really want to try and get narrow. But then you have to realize this is where the ad's going to get shown up. So you can't get as narrow up here because the ad, for example, only has 30,000 people because there's only so many listing videos. So that's why I don't like it, topics and placements, because in real estate, people don't necessarily go onto YouTube to look at real estate. And you can kind of grab that with keywords, but people go on YouTube for way more reasons. So let this do the work, and let your creative do the work. So let those two do the work. Don't get too granular on here. I hope that is helpful. Hope that is insightful on who and how you actually target the right people on YouTube. So let me know if you have any questions about how do you actually target the right people, how do you go about it, how do you think through targeting buyers for lead generation or brand awareness, growing your YouTube channel, how do you target sellers for lead generation, growing your YouTube channel, brand awareness, marketing your listings, or how do you target the people you actually want to target, the people you actually want to work with. That's what this is helping you to do. The video is created so you can kind of think through that in your head and then actually apply it. So I hope that's helpful. Comment below if you have any questions at all, and like and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, or if you want more content around digital marketing in real estate. Thanks for watching.